All right, today we're going to tear down the walls and look inside a real estate investment firm that's just built differently. Seriously, it operates less like a traditional company and way more like a high-performance machine. We're going to break down exactly how they're using tech, strategy, and a really unique philosophy to try and transform the industry.
You know, every machine needs a purpose, right? A prime directive. And this is theirs. It's not just about the money, it's about creating a lasting legacy and delivering real value to everyone involved. This isn't just some nice-sounding goal, it's the core code that programs their every single move.
So, that's the big question, isn't it? In an industry as old as, well, buildings themselves, how do you actually innovate in a way that builds something permanent and truly valuable? The answer, for them, lies in building a very, very specific type of machine.
Okay, let's start with the machine's operating system, the core philosophy and the deep, deep experience that powers every single decision. Before you can build anything, you need a blueprint, right? And this team's blueprint is pretty extensive.
First, let's talk about the foundation. The team's track record?
Repositioning nearly $7.5 billion worth of assets. That's a ton of transformation.
All that experience comes from doing this over and over again. More than 200 unique transactions across all kinds of market cycles, good and bad. It's this deep history that lets them see patterns and opportunities that most others are just going to miss.
And what's driving on this experience? A super clear set of values. It's about having bold ideas for sure, but also staying hungry and humble. And most importantly, building trust. This isn't just corporate jargon you stick on a wall. It's the cultural code that makes sure the whole team, the whole machine, operates perfectly in sync.
All right, now let's pop the hood and look at the engine itself. This is where a repeatable process and some really groundbreaking technology come together to create a system for predictable results. This is how they turn value creation from a one-off art project into a scalable, repeatable system. So, at the very heart of this engine is something they call the AI co-pilot. Now think about it like this. What if your absolute best expert, your star player, could be in every meeting, on every deal, all at the same time? This AI literally digitizes an expert's intuition and decision-making, effectively cloning their genius so it can be scaled across the entire organization. It's wild.
And this just illustrates the difference perfectly. In the old model, a key executive leaves, and all that priceless knowledge, all that gut instinct just walks right out the door with them. It's a huge single point of failure. With the AI Copilot, that knowledge stays.
This creates something they call knowledge continuity. And you can think of it as the ultimate insurance policy. The company's memory, it's got instincts, it's no longer just stuck in a few people's heads. It's baked right into the system itself. I mean, this is a game changer in an industry that has always been about relationships and experience. It turns all that into a scalable corporate asset.
This tech then gets plugged into a really clear, repeatable system. Value creation isn't some chaotic mess. It's broken down into 3 distinct sprints. First, diagnostic, define the opportunity. Then planning, to map out how to create the value. And finally, execution, to actually go out and make it happen. It turns a super complex process into a predictable sequence of events.
So the playbook has 3 stages. First is ATS, which is all about finding the right opportunities. Then comes AAA, which is about hacking the value before you even start construction. And finally, there's DRM, which is the actual physical transformation of the building. Let's break them down one by one.
Okay, first up, ATS, the Acquisition Targeting System. The best way to think about this is like a tech platform.
Think of it as another digital co-pilot, but this one's job is to act like a digital library of all their collective deal-making experience, sifting through the market with incredible speed to find opportunities that match their exact criteria.
Their focus is surgically precise. They're targeting high-growth, innovation-led cities, places where talent and capital are flooding in. They play in the middle market, which is this sweet spot that's often too big for small investors, but too small for the giant institutions. And they are specifically looking for underperforming properties that need a lot of hard work. This whole strategy is designed to minimize their competition.
Once they've found a target, they deploy a very specific playbook to bring order to the chaos of redevelopment. They call it the accelerated appreciation algorithm, and its one and only purpose is to unlock hidden value.
Now, this is the really clever part. This isn't about swinging hammers or pouring concrete. This is a value hack that happens entirely on paper. We're talking about getting the city to approve a better use for the property or redesigning the floor plan to create more rentable space. The key here, and this is so important, is that you're creating a ton of value and taking risk off the table before a single wall comes down.
And this brings us to the final output of the machine, the transformation itself. How do they actually take these overlooked, maybe even unloved assets and turn them into premier, top-tier properties? Well, this is their deep reposition method.
This is the physical part, the actual build-out. But it's not about building from scratch. The whole strategy is centered on adaptive reuse, taking an existing building, maybe an old warehouse, and transforming it into a modern, low-carbon, premium green workspace. You know, the exact kind of place those top-tier companies in those innovation cities are dying to get into.
As companies push for our return to office, they need spaces that are more than just four walls and a roof. They need a real business tool.
And the financial outcome they're shooting for is, well, it's dramatic. This chart says it all. The goal is to effectively double the rental rates of a property through this deep repositioning process. It's all about maximizing that net operating income and unlocking value that was just sitting there, hidden in plain sight.
The other half of this powerful engine is vertical integration. Basically, this just means they control every single step of the process. By managing everything in-house, they get to cut out delays, minimize risk, and completely dictate the pace of execution. No waiting on third parties. From managing the money and handling acquisitions, all the way through architecture, development, and even leasing the place up, it's all handled by their own synchronized in-house teams. Nothing is left to chance.
Okay, so let's get into their big idea. They call it the complexity premium. And you can think of it like this. It's a hidden treasure chest, locked away inside deals that are just too messy, too difficult, or require way too much hands-on work for most investors. This whole strategy is about one thing: hunting down that premium. And this really just puts the whole thing in perspective. The conventional way to do things is often to rely on some fancy financial moves, or frankly, to just sit back and hope the market goes up. This model is the polar opposite. The value is created actively. It's hands-on, it's operational, and it's all about strategically converting buildings into something more valuable.
So, when you put all of these pieces together, the core philosophy, the tech-powered engine, the super precise targeting, and this transformative method, what you get is a truly unique model for investing in real estate.
I mean, think about it. You've got these massive tailwinds. The tech boom is still fueling huge demand for specialized office space. The best companies are in a flight to quality, meaning they will pay up for premium green buildings. You've got return to office mandates bringing people back to work. And on top of all that, property values have had this historic reset, which means you can get in at a much better price. This system is tailor-made for this exact moment.
So here it is, the blueprint in a nutshell, the four pillars holding it all up. First, you've got technology, using AI copilots to scale genius. Second, integration, giving them total control. Third, a sharp niche focus that lets them hunt for that complexity premium. And finally, systemization, which makes success something you can repeat over and over again.
And that kind of leaves us with one last big idea to chew on. If you look at history, the best times to invest are often when things feel the most uncertain, long before everyone else feels safe. So it really makes you ask the question, in a volatile market like today's, is the biggest risk actually doing something, or is it waiting around for an all-clear sign that might never show up?